Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I have my bestie, Andrea Schwarz, with me. She is a working mom. She is an ace speaker, so watch out for that. And she is a leadership coach herself, and she coaches me. I coach her, but she's just amazing. So I'm very pleased that she made the time to join us today. Andrea, nice to have you on.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about you, a fun fact, or something you want the audience to know about Andrea Schwartz?
Fun fact. Okay. Well, I typically tend to do this in this virtual space, but um, so I am 6 feet tall, which a lot of people find very shocking. So, which I've had to learn to embrace and love over the years, but I haven't always loved being so tall. And I'm from a family of all girls. There's four of us.
Wow.
And like you said, I'm a mom. I have three beautiful children. I have two girls and a boy. And I'm married to a wonderful man who is a firefighter. So there's a few fun facts about me.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing a little bit about yourself with us. So today we're going to be talking about passion. And for those of you who actually go over to read the description of a channel, I did say that this channel is just about tracking my journey through following my passion and calling. And today I brought my friend Andrea over because she is passionate about passion. And she's going to share a little bit about her journey, and we are both going to share about our journeys towards pursuing our passion. So, Andrea, what do you define as passion?
Well, it's a great question, Claire. And just kind of thinking about and reflecting on it, passion to me is anything in your life that you look at and reflect upon that you get really excited about and brings you a lot of joy and a lot of energy. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I think when you just look at it as it is, that's probably the best way that I could define it. And just saying yes today to coming here to talk on this topic, I got really excited because I'm really passionate about the topic passion. So, but that's how simple it is in my mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think you talked about some keywords like energizes you, propels you, drives you. That is your passion. So how does one go about discovering their passion in life?
Well, there's a couple of things, Claire, I think that you can do to really discover your passion. The first thing that comes to my mind is to think about in your life, what do you do in your spare time when nobody's watching? So that valuable time that you have, whether you're a working mom or whoever you are, what is it that you want to do with your time? What is it you're looking at, researching? What are you reading about? What are you Googling? I think that's kind of a great place to start. Another place to start, I would say, is what do you love to talk about? So when you're talking to your friends, your family, what is it that kind of comes to the surface that you get really excited about that you want to talk to about it? Those are two kind of simple ways. I have a lot of people that, are really struggling to find their passion. And sometimes I think they're thinking too much with their head and not with their heart. I think when you think with your heart, it becomes a little bit easier to discover what those passions are.
So good. That is so good, Andrea. And that reminds me as a coach of one of those inventories that we use as a tool to help people walk through their lives and think about what their passions are, and one of them is what do you get on your soapbox about. And while we're talking before this, you made some interesting points, Andrea, and you said something around the fact that passion changes over time. And in my view, I would like to say you get more clarity about passion over the years. Because I remember the first time I sat with my own coach trying to unearth my unique giftings and my passion. There's some things I said then that I look back and I'm like, that wasn't it per se. Today I have more clarity about what my passion is than I had, say, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And what are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I think passions can change. I think passions can evolve. I feel sometimes we may not even have discovered yet what some of our passions are. And you can have more than one passion, right? Just a very simple example for myself is today, in the stage of life that I'm in, I'm extremely passionate about, inspiring, engaging, and helping the working mom. Well, I've only been a working mother for 17 years. So before that, my passions were a little bit different. So I think they can change over time, number one. But number two, I also believe that you can have more than one passion. So yeah, and I love what you said, Claire. I mean, I've loved watching your journey, and I really admire you because I feel like you're one of those great examples to us all about being bold and brave and stepping into, your passion and kind of discovering it. So maybe you can share with us, Claire, for everybody, because I'd love for them to hear, how did you discover your passion? Because you're living it right now, and I'm loving watching your journey.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, you're putting me back on that hot seat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because one of the things I found in my own journey to walking in my passion was I had to get over my insecurities, and it was blurring my passion a bit, because I've always been passionate about music, about making music, creating music, songwriting, but I was stuck in this rut of not being good enough for years and years and years, and because I felt I wasn't good enough, so therefore that should not be my passion, right? And I just want to take a little bit of a segue here to encourage someone that's watching this that is passionate about music and feels like they're not good enough. There are so many people involved in the music industry, and it takes you getting into it to realize that not everybody in the music industry can sing, but there are people that are great producers, there are great lyricists out there that can't hold a note, and there are people like that are following their passion for music, and it doesn't start and end with your ability to sing. And in the Christian world, you think about someone like Kirk Franklin and all the amazing stuff he does, right? He is not the lead vocalist, right? But without doubt, he creates stunning music. So there are people like that all over the world who are impacting the music industry, but they are not the best singers out there. So that's just to encourage someone that's considering music. But yes, back to my own story. So it took a while for me to overcome those personal barriers. And in coaching language, we talk about obstacles, right? And I had to overcome those mental obstacles to actually agree that this is something I'm passionate about, and this is something I can pursue because I'm good enough to start that journey. And there's always growth in pursuing your passion. And I want to fling that back to you, Andrea, and
Yeah.
talk about your growth process, because again, we were talking about some of your recent discoveries in terms of your passion, right? Do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think one example I could speak to would be right now, it's a new passion of mine I've kind of discovered, but it's really around doing more public speaking. So, and doing presentations. And I've been asked recently to do some more speaking engagements. And it's interesting because about 20 years ago, I had like terrible stage fright and would not even engage in public speaking. It was probably my biggest fear. And, as I've gone through my career and I've had to really push myself to get up and speak. And I'd say probably in the last 2 years where I have really stretched myself outside my comfort zone to get up and speak more, I've discovered that I actually really love it. And not only do I love it, but I'm actually pretty good at it, which is hard.
Oh, she rocks and plays at speaking, and she gets all the messages to boot. So, yeah.
But like you said, I did have a lot of clarity to help with that through some coaching that I've gone through really understanding my strengths and my core values and what's important to me. And it is what I get on my soapbox and talk about right now. It's really around leadership and inspiring others to kind of awaken their own potential. So their own passion and potential, I should say. So it's just been through that experience and stepping into being brave and bold that it has opened up doors for me and has really awakened in myself some of these passions. So I'm just so grateful and thankful that I've had the courage and the strength to do it, because a lot of people don't, and they stay back in their comfort zone and they stay back in that room where they feel very comfortable. And I've recently pushed myself, and I'm so happy that I have.
Right. So true. And I can totally relate with that. And having been privileged to be part of your journey, I mean, I'm excited when you talk about public speaking today and where you were just 2 years ago, and where you're like, oh no, I do not want to speak in front of people. It is painful, to what you're doing today. That is so phenomenal. And you are amazing at it.
Oh, thanks, Claire.
Things that I heard you refer to. So one, overcoming the insecurity, and I alluded to it earlier, how do you practically overcome that insecurity that sometimes acts like blinders and prevents you from seeing and walking in your passion? How do you traverse that?
Yeah, so I think it comes with practice. I think like in anything in life, I think it was you that said to me, you squash that fear with practice and just keep doing it. The first time was the hardest. Claire, you probably remember about 2 years ago, I got asked to go on a television show. That was kind of my first, just right in there to live TV, right? That was the very first time.
Absolutely.
And I'll never forget, I don't even know what I said. It probably wasn't even that great. But anyways, when I came off the set, I was just so incredibly proud of myself.
Absolutely.
And my family was, and my children. And I was doing it not only for myself, but I really believe in modeling it as a leader. I think it's just natural abilities that I have, is I also want to model it for other people, for my children, my friends, and my family. So through practice, I think, is number one. There, I think having a support system around you, surrounding yourself by people that encourage you and build you up. Those are the people that I, gravitate towards, because not only do I love inspiring others, but I want to be inspired. So, like yourself, Claire, you're so wonderful at building people up and helping them. You're amazing. So,
are you? Just saying, you are amazing.
Claire, and my confidence has really increased over the last few years. I feel like I'm a very different person today, and because I've seen the effects of it and I'm seeing the rewards, it's kind of pushing me even further to just keep going. So it's kind of baby steps. You just don't go from here to here. I think there's a progression. Okay. And through practice, through bravery, through the support, all of those things just help. So yeah, but take the first step. I just encourage people, just please take that first step.
You know what you say is so true, because even in my journey as a coach, on one hand, I remember when I took my certification, I didn't feel like I was great at this, but you constantly encourage me and tell me. You tell me. Anyway.
Claire, just do it.
And over the years with coaching people, my confidence has grown, and I took that same practice into what I do with music. I remember after taking a long break, getting on a stage, I was shaking in my boots, and I recently told my kids, and they didn't even realize that at that event I was so nervous, and they're like, really, were you nervous? And I know that recently you told me, Andrea, like, oh, you look so comfortable, and I was just smiling to myself, because it's with practice. You're right. It has grown with practice. With the first release I had recently, after a long hiatus, I was so nervous. But with each release, it's getting easier. Right?
Yep.
It's getting easier, and I feel even more comfortable and more confident in putting myself out there. It is a journey, like you said, it's baby steps. And I just have that picture of, a stairwell, you keep going one step at a time, and then you look at the trajectory, you're going upwards, So you need to take that first step to get on that journey of growth and development in the area of your career.
Totally agree.